Hello and welcome to the Alaska College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. This panel is liberal arts colleges or private colleges. I know that our panelists have some incredible information to share with you, and we're excited to get started in just a minute. I do have some housekeeping announcements to help us get started. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button though, to type your questions to our presenters at any time, and you can see that Q&A button on your screen. This is just one of many different sessions that have been offered for Alaska students. It's both the college fair programming and all of the panels today. We hope you've enjoyed attending many of these sessions. Remember that this presentation is being recorded, as are all of the presentations and the college fair sessions that have taken place. So you can head to the same website where you registered, strivescan.com/Alaska, to check out the recordings in the coming days. Maybe you can learn about some other colleges and universities. This is a session you weren't able to attend at the college fair, or there's just so many great topics of panels. So you can check out more of those sessions or pass them along to family and friends so they can learn, you can all learn more tips and tricks and ways to navigate the college search process. Again, remember, they'll be posted in the coming days at strivescan.com/Alaska. Well, I'm really excited to turn it over to our panelists tonight, and I'm going to pass it over to Jen Olson-Kringle to get us started.
Very good. Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening, everyone. We're excited to have you with us this evening. So we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves by introducing our institutions. And after we do that, then we'll jump into some of the things we want you to know about private colleges and liberal arts colleges. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I will turn it over to Eric.
All right, thank you. And good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good evening up there in Anchorage. As a former resident of the city, as my friend Amy Potter knows, it's good to be with you. I'm sorry I'm not there in town, but hope you all enjoy our presentation tonight. I'm Chief Enrollment Officer at the Evergreen State College, and we're a school of just over 2,000 undergraduate students located in Washington's capital of Olympia. So we are right at 1 hour south of the Seattle airport and south of the city of Seattle. The thing that makes Evergreen a little bit different than my fellow presenters this evening and a lot of liberal arts colleges is that we are a public liberal arts college. We are part of the four-year public university system in the state of Washington. We are by far the smallest, though, at just over 2,100 students. If you compare us to, let's say, the University of Washington in Seattle at 50 or 60,000 students. So we focus on the liberal arts. We are much smaller and provide that kind of very personal, small campus, small college environment as a public institution. Our tuition, many of you listening this evening would likely be eligible for our Western undergraduate exchange tuition. So tuition at Evergreen, if you qualify for Western undergraduate, is about $10,500 per year for tuition. Total estimated cost with room and board of between $28,000 and $29,000. As it says there on the slide, 45 states are represented, and I'm always proud of the fact that Alaska is in the top 10 in our students' population. And we offer 55 areas of study. And then something that's new to Evergreen are our academic interdisciplinary paths. So if you know a little bit about Evergreen, we are very young. We were created in 1967, so we are celebrating 50 years since we graduated, our first students. And since that time, we've had no formally designed majors for our students. Essentially, all students create their own major, but to help students find a way through that curriculum to help them make choices, to help them achieve whatever academic or career goal that they might have. We've created these interdisciplinary paths for students to follow. Perhaps the last important thing to know before I hand it over to Jen, talk a little bit of Hamline University. Our format is very different. Our students typically study in one 16-credit coordinated studies course per quarter. So each quarter, you're going to have just this one course, which will bring together anywhere from 2 to 4 different academic disciplines to be team taught, and you will earn 16 credits each quarter through this particular format. And so that is something, in addition to being a public liberal arts college, that makes us quite unique. And I will turn it over to Jen now.
Thank you, Eric. All right, so my name is Jen Olson-Kringle. I serve as the Director of Undergraduate Admission at Hamline University. We are a private liberal arts university located in Minnesota. So we're in St. Paul, Minnesota. We're in the Twin Cities. So our setting is an urban campus in a residential neighborhood about midway between downtown St. Paul and downtown Minneapolis. We enroll just under 2,000 undergraduate students and about 2,000 graduate students. You'll see there that about 42% of our students identify as the first in their family to attend a four-year college. And about 39% of our students identify as domestic students of color. Like the other schools you're going to hear more about tonight, we do have very small classes, and our faculty to student ratio is about 13:1. We are a fairly traditional university, a little bit different than Evergreen State in that students choose majors or minors, and we have about 50 different areas of study. Popular programs for us include criminology and criminal justice, psychology, education, business, and legal studies. We also have a number of students who are interested in social justice. So that's a big part of the ethos at Hamline University. We're also very focused on civic engagement and community service. St. Paul is the capital city of Minnesota, and so there are a lot of opportunities for students to be involved in public service and administration and a number of other kinds of activities. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amy, who will be talking about Alaska Pacific. Thank you, Amy.
All right. Hi, guys. So my name is Amy Potter. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at Alaska Pacific University. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys have had a chance to visit campus, but we're smack dab kind of located here in Anchorage. So I think our students get kind of the best of both worlds. So the convenience of being located in Anchorage, kind of the main hub for the state, kind of easiest to get in and out of, as well as our campus is surrounded by the trees and trail systems and nestled up by the mountains. And so you really do kind of feel like you're in your own bubble and can just kind of be on campus when you want to be, but yet can just pop down the street to Starbucks and, you know, have the convenience of being located here in town. So for those of you guys, if you come into town here, so we're kind of over by the Airline Center, right in between Providence and ANMC, the Alaska Native Medical Center. We do have a partnership with Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium. So one of the things too, we'll mention a little bit later about different financial aid and scholarship opportunities, but one of the things we're really excited to partner with Tribal Health Systems scholarship for dependents. Say your parents might work at a tribal health organization here in the state, you can qualify for additional scholarships. So definitely reach out if you think you might qualify for that. But again, we're a very small campus. So we have about 550 students total, and that's undergraduate all the way up to our graduate and doctorate programs. About 85% of our students are coming from Alaska. We have over 34 different cities, towns, villages represented. So we're really excited to not have just students here from Anchorage or kind of the Valley or the Kenai Peninsula, but kind of all over throughout Alaska here on campus. Sorry. colleagues have mentioned, definitely small classes, again, 7-to-1 student professor ratio. So you're in that kind of tight knit cohort with your students and your professors, and really developing a lot of great opportunities for internships and practicums. They get to know you and what your goals are and can help you when you're looking for jobs. We are an Alaska Native American Indian serving institution. A couple of our new sort of programs, we have a nursing program, community and place-based education, which kind of really looks at kind of some of our sort of outdoor studies types of classes or education classes, and looking at that kind of hands-on experiential learning, place-based education, and environmental public health. So block session module courses, our classes are in a few different formats. So that allows students a lot of that kind of experiential learning, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So, thanks. Turn over to Annie.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to see y'all. My name is Annie McGarry, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions for Prescott College. And we are a small liberal arts college in Prescott, Arizona. We are a private school, and so we're definitely on the track of more of like a traditional liberal arts college where students will choose a major and a minor. At Prescott, they're called competences and breadths, just because we want to change it up. But you'll choose a major and a minor, and then take your also like liberal arts colleges. So focus some classes on the humanities and social sciences and natural sciences. We're located in Prescott, Arizona, which is about 5,000 elevation. So it's 4 seasons, 277 days of sunshine per year, but we don't get a crazy amount of snow, and we don't get the crazy heat either. So I think that it's just a perfect place to be if you enjoy the outdoors. We are very small, so 350 students on campus for our undergraduate program, a little over 1,000 when we include our online learners for our undergraduate, graduate, and PhD programs. We have a 7-to-1 student faculty ratio for our on-campus undergraduates, small class sizes of 14 students max, and that starts your freshman year and continues all the way through into your senior year. Our students spend about 70% of their time in the field. So we have a block and session kind of semester. So our students take a mixture of the different types of class models, but we really want you to have this career focused curriculum where you're interning and job shadowing and kind of building a resume along with this degree that you're earning. We have 5 different local and global centers, so students have the option of international travel, as well as 2 consortium partners for domestic exchange opportunities. So I love these options because 350 can seem a little small sometimes, but now all of a sudden you have, close to 15 other schools that you can go and study at. And I love that for students so they can expand their faculty and communities. We do provide financial aid to all students. We're going to talk a little bit about financial aid, but it's important to know that we do provide financial aid to all students that are coming in, including undocumented and DACA eligible students as well. So thanks so much. We can get started on the rest of our presentation about liberal arts and private schools for you. The things that we're going to talk about this evening, we're going to go over some a little bit about small class sizes and faculty engagement. We're going to touch on experiential learning and what that means. We're going to talk about leadership development as well as diversity on campus. And then of course, touch on the all important affordability part. So getting started with the small classes and faculty engagement, we all mentioned these small class sizes that we have and are, I think, like really proud of. So the faculty to student ratios at all of our colleges that we mentioned, but across the board, really at liberal arts colleges in general, are all typically going to be on the smaller side. And that's one of the benefits definitely of a small college, but also like a liberal arts college environment. Discussion-based class setting. So I'm not sure, I can't speak to all the other schools here, but I can definitely say that we don't have any lectures at Prescott College. All of our classes are discussion-based and Socratic seminar style. And because it's on here, I'm assuming that most of these schools all have the exact same sort of setup when it comes to their classes and really the type of education that we want students to have, that critical thinking and problem solving component. So state-of-the-art facilities you can always expect at our schools. And we really want to make sure that, and that includes like for like research facilities, of course, as well. And I think that at any sort of small and liberal arts college, you can expect that your faculty are really going to serve as your mentors and as advisors to the students. So we want to make sure that you're getting that hands-on and very personalized education.
And is this one mine? For our audience
That is yours,
members,
Eric.
we did not practice this, obviously. Yeah,
That's
so
you, Eric.
yeah, that's me. I got it. I'll make, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so another part of a typical liberal arts experience is what's generally labeled experiential learning. And what that means is learning that goes typically far beyond the classroom as you might envision it or understand the classroom to be. Picking out of the middle of the list there on the slide, undergraduate research, I think, is a real strength and hallmark of the liberal arts in the United States. Whether you're attending one of the smallest members of this group, like Prescott, or a very large liberal arts college, you should expect to have access to faculty members to be engaged in research at the undergraduate level. A lot of students and faculty members will tell you that these undergraduate students are afforded opportunities typically reserved for graduate students at other types of universities. And you combine that, for example, with an internship and the advantages that you will have moving on into the job market or applying to graduate schools are almost immeasurable. Having gained that experience, that hands-on experience, that academic experience outside and beyond the classroom. I know maybe everybody, but I talked a little bit about study abroad or study away, both domestic exchange programs and international exchange programs. I will tell you, I did not do one of these when I was an undergraduate, and it's perhaps the one regret that I have is that I did not take advantage of that and stayed on my campus all 4 years. It's typically very affordable. The costs very often are no different than attending your home institution. For Evergreen, given that we're public and that our tuition might be less than a private college you might do an exchange with domestically or overseas, we have financial aid in various ways to make it possible for our students that finances should not be a barrier for a student wanting to do an abroad experience or a domestic experience. And then service learning, engaging yourself in the community around your college, whether it's in a more rural environment or an urban environment, but coming involved in the community through various organizations. You will find on almost every liberal arts campus this day and age some sort of office or center that facilitates those connections for students, connects them with activities that they are interested in, to really add to and coordinate with their classroom learning that they are experiencing. And so with that, Amy.
All right, and I'm just gonna re-emphasize because I think it's super important, and sometimes students don't necessarily realize that kind of the value of some of those pieces until they've had a chance, or maybe they even end up transferring to our, maybe one of our schools after maybe trying out someplace different. Again, kind of that experiential learning piece. Same goes with like the leadership development and, kind of life outside of the classroom is when you attend one of our schools, especially that smaller campus environment where you have such that connected, just relationship between the staff that work there, the faculty that work there. There really is that, genuine interest in you as a student, what your goals are, and really the benefit of not competing with, thousands of other students for the same internship or job opportunities. And so they really get to know you, and they're connected in their field, whether it's in the state, in the continental US, internationally, all over, they have their connections, and they're able to help you with that. And again, kind of on a smaller scale where, again, they know you, they can help with those goals. And again, you're not competing with, maybe thousands of other students for the same opportunities. So along with that, with the leadership development, classes are going to get stressful. And so I think all of us can really stress it's important to stay connected to your campus community, whether it's through athletic programs, student organizations, clubs, finding something that you love to do, have a passion for, finding a way to connect on campus with other students that like to do similar things. So that way you can take a little bit of a break from some of the academic pieces. And again, it's really kind of developing you all around. And so not just focusing on the academics, but being kind of that liberal arts mindset of a well-rounded individual, taking advantage. Again, a lot of our students, they get to be in multiple clubs, there are multiple sports, they have a lot of opportunities, and can really, even if say you might not have an experience, our campuses are very welcoming to try new things. So if you're just looking to explore and you're like, I have never performed, but I've always kind of wanted to check it out, I wanted to be in a play, or I wanted to pick up an instrument, finding, it's a kind of a safe space again to kind of explore those things and find out, maybe develop a new passion you didn't even realize you have. But that's one of the great things, again, of taking advantage of all those opportunities that are available on campus for you.
All right, thank you, Amy. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the amazing diversity of all of the liberal arts and private colleges throughout the country. Even just learning about 4 individual schools this evening, it's so amazing for me even to hear about how different we all are. And so know that there are so many different opportunities out there, and that we're not all the same. So I think sometimes that people characterize liberal arts in a particular way, and it'll be a certain size. It might be a rural small college, but when you think about even just the 4 colleges that have been described to you this evening, there are a lot of different programs, there are a lot of different environments and a lot of different settings. So know that our students are very diverse in terms of their interest, in terms of their backgrounds. Again, many of us talked about that just when we gave you a brief overview of our institutions. So the students that come to us come from all over the world. They come from down the street, and they come from far away. They have a lot of different interests depending on their major, depending on their activities. And so there are a lot of unique people that you'll have an opportunity to meet at our institutions. We have very diverse curriculums. So some colleges are really just focused on the liberal arts, and some will do more with professional programs. So programs like nursing, where you'll be trained to go do something when you're done, or maybe an education and licensure program. So again, not necessarily just traditional liberal arts majors. There are lots of different ways to think about the curriculum at private and liberal arts institutions. When I use the language comprehensive programs, so there are some places that do both. So you've again heard us talk about some of those more professional programs where you'll be doing some clinical work. And then of course, there are also liberal arts programs that might be more focused in a particular area like history or English. So some schools are going to have both options for you. And so that's what I mean when I say comprehensive. And then of course, diverse locations. We have a couple of schools from, actually one school from Alaska, and then you've got 3 schools from other places. So there are so many different locations. You could probably stay close to home if you wanted, or you could jump a little bit further and try something new. So know that the locations are very diverse as well. You've also heard us talk about smaller towns, urban settings, more rural settings. So the setting that the college is in also will vary from school to school, and the diversity and location is certainly something that we all have to share as well. And then finally, diverse experiences. We've been talking about the opportunities to do a lot of things in terms of your learning, your experiential learning, and the variety of activities you can participate in. Certainly outside of the classroom, there are a lot of different experiences that you could have, as well as off campus. So potentially studying elsewhere domestically or studying away. So the opportunities vary, of course, even just with the 4 schools that are on the call tonight. But know that that will be something that you'll find as you think about and look at the variety of liberal arts colleges that exist throughout the country. So we encourage you to embrace the fact that there's a lot of diversity and a lot of opportunities there for you as well. So what we've been trying to do this evening is to talk a little bit about all of the uniqueness that we have and all of the great gifts that our institutions have to offer you as students. And one of the big questions is often, how do I pay for that? So this sounds great. You're saying wonderful things about all of these places and all of your schools, but how do we make that work? So one of the other things I think you heard us each say too when we were introducing ourselves is that our goal is for this to make this as affordable as possible. Very few students pay the sticker price. You heard Eric talk about the cost of Evergreen State and all the options there. I think we've also all mentioned merit scholarships for those of us that are private institutions. So know that that's something that we're all very focused on in helping students and families figure out how to make this affordable. So merit scholarships are typically readily available, or other types of financing programs. And then of course, need-based financial aid. We always want to encourage families to fill out the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA, if you're eligible to do so. So that's another piece that's really important in the whole college affordability piece. I would, though, love to have my colleagues jump in and say anything else about affordability, if there's anything else you'd like to add, or if you mentioned some special scholarships, and I know Eric, you talked about costs for Alaska students as well, but I want to make sure we add important information here.
Yeah, I'll pop in. As I mentioned, I think a few different scholarship options for students. And I think regardless, one thing that I always stress with students is, again, whether if it's a school, if you're going to pay out-of-state tuition, or if you have in-state tuition or WUI, or like taking advantage of any of that stuff, again, don't just look at that and decide, oh, I really like the school, but maybe it's too expensive, because a lot of times going through the process, students, if it's a really good fit for you and you like the school and the program, and it is a place that feels like home, that's really important. And as students go through the financial aid process, there's a lot of these additional scholarships that might pop up that might make it more affordable for students that they didn't necessarily know when they were first researching the school. So again, kind of follow through all that way, see what you might be eligible for, and then so you can make the best informed decision. So with us, our merit scholarships, we are test blind, so we don't require the SAT or HCT for admissions or for scholarship purposes. So our merit scholarships are going to be based off of cumulative GPA. And so our merit scholarships start out at 2.75 and go up for $1,500, and then go up from there, and they are renewable. So students would continue to get those each year. They can use the Alaska Performance Scholarship if they attend our university, the Alaska Tribal Health System Scholarship that I was mentioning, and then we have institutional specific scholarships. Who else wants to jump in?
The only thing that I would really love to add, and I think that it's important to always be chatting with your admissions counselor. We are here to help you. Like literally our job is to answer any and all of your questions. And so just know that, you know, no question is a stupid question, especially when it comes to financial literacy and just understanding everything that comes with paying for college. And that includes the merit scholarships and the financial aid, but that also includes outside scholarships. And so asking us, and I mean us, I mean the admissions counselors for each college that you're applying to, whether or not they accept outside scholarships is another important piece, because we might accept them and just stack them on top of what your merit-based scholarship is. And so asking that question is really important, as well as asking what other scholarships the institution itself might have for you to apply for or be eligible for. And so just keeping that in mind, there's a lot of free money out there for students to go to college with, and finding those resources is really important. And oftentimes we have the resources to help you. Like, yes, we accept merit-based scholarships or outside scholarships, and then here are some resources to help you find where those are, or you know where to find them and everything. So definitely ask us for your best resource.
I think from the public college perspective, we will have things such as merit scholarships available. Our foundation raises money year-round for scholarships. Given that our cost is lower, they may not be as large, but all of the same principles apply to a public institution as well.
Great, thank you. Thanks for adding that, Eric. I thought you all probably did have some merit scholarships, but that's helpful. I'm glad you added that. So
yeah, they're nowhere near as large, but relative to the price,
but relative,
they can be significant.
Yep. And every little bit helps. So definitely, that is definitely the case. As you said, Annie, that even just spending a little bit of time looking for outside scholarships can certainly be helpful in the whole cost and scholarship process. So with that, oh, go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just going to say the one thing too that I would just throw out is check it for scholarship deadlines. I know for us, our scholarship deadline, typically they're, ours are kind of in that spring semester before, why they're still, your senior year of high school. So kind of thinking, okay, I'm still in high school, but I need to look for those scholarship deadlines. Ours is February 1st. So that would be, February 1st, applying for those priority kind of deadline for applying for scholarships for coming up if for that first year when you're starting in the fall. So a lot of schools might have specific scholarship deadlines, or they might have early, kind of priority scholarship deadlines, where really giving you the best opportunity at the most, free money that you might be eligible for is important. So definitely take advantage of that.
And I'm going to add in, it can be confusing because I don't know about all of you, but Evergreen uses what's known as rolling admission, meaning we're taking in applications just about year round and making admissions decision for both fall and winter quarters, for example. But the one deadline we have that is really the hardest deadline we probably have is our scholarship deadline of February 1. Your students and applicants' likelihood of receiving a scholarship with a late application most years is rather low, because they'll be taken up by the on-time applicants for sure. Yeah.
Very good. That's wonderful advice. Thank you, everyone. So here is all of our contact information. We would all be happy to answer further questions or future questions that you might have. But if with that, are there any other closing remarks anyone would like to make? Great. Thank you so much for being part of this session this evening. And we hope this has been helpful information just to give you a little bit of an overview of all of the opportunities that could be available to you at our institutions. Thank you and have a great evening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jen, Amy, Eric, and Annie for sharing not just great information about your schools, but just all of the wonderful benefits and opportunities and all that financial aid advice too when it comes to considering liberal arts and private colleges. Thank you again for all of your time and being here and being willing to be contacted by anyone who joined us tonight or watching. Really, I promise, admissions counselors love questions. So I do hope anyone who has more thoughts after tonight, or you want to learn more about these schools, they just give you a brief peek at what they all have to offer. I definitely hope you'll reach out. Well, to get to the logistics of wrapping up for the evening, when you close your window, there'll be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We hope that you have enjoyed all of the college fair and panels for Alaska students over the last 2 days. Don't forget, all sessions have been recorded and you can find them at the same website where you registered, strivescan.com/Alaska. I know the college search can be overwhelming at times, but it really is a fun adventure. And I wish you all the best of luck and enjoy your school year. And have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to be here. Bye.
Bye, everyone.